Now imagine a bike, a single cylinder, a huge piston on it, churning out 45 PS of power. Here's what it feels like.
Generally, there are motorcycles of different categories: sport bikes, tourers, adventure bikes, middleweights, cruisers, and more to talk about. But there is one category that works best for practicality: the sub 500cc segment or the lightweights.
While in the middleweight segment there's a lot and we are spoiled to choose, this is one such bike which needs zero introduction. Presenting the KTM RC390. Built on the track, built for the track, ready to race.
These nowadays pack more spice than tandoori chicken while keeping things as tame as it can possibly get. Back in 2014 was one such brand that introduced a wild beast that puts most higher capacity supercars to shame. A little more than half a decade later, it stands true to its nature.
Under just 3 lakhs, this was the best possible bike you can ever find. There was the Charisma ZMRs, there was the Pulsars, which was amazing, yet did not have that kind of a punch. But if you wanted anything remotely close to riding well on track, it was the ZX6R or the R6 or the Daytona 675R, which was highly expensive, not easy to afford by every means, not easy to find as well. Plus, the maintenance cost was ridiculously high. Moreover, you could not really ride it on daily roads.
The standout features are quite obvious. The tailpiece, a piece of matte black PVC foam that bolted to the higher new subframe, is a piece of art. It makes the sport bike look complete by resembling a single-seater, and it makes the RC immeasurably cool. I like the indicators on the mirror stalks and the short bit at the back with the lights. The RC can be turned into a stripped-down race bike very quickly, and then back to a street bike just as fast. Mirror adjustability is less overall than the Duke, but they're useless in terms of the view behind. The face has a purposeful look with the two projectors placed next to each other and housed in the shaft fairing. The clear upper fairing though is something we love, but it made cleaning the RC very complex. Atop sits a familiar amber-lit instrument console from the Dukes with clearly legible speedometer. However, the odometer, twin trip meters, real-time average speed indicator and mileage calculator are displayed all in a crowd here and could have been more readable while on the go. A bright red shifter beacon flashes to warn you when it's time to shift up a gear before you hit the rev limiter, and you can set this to different points in the rev range. Clip-on handlebars provide the RC390 a sporty feel, more so due to a meaty supporting centerpiece. As on the Duke, the RC390 also gains hard rubber dimple palm grips that lack comfortable feel. The RC comes with illuminated switchgear, which proves really useful at night. The 9.5-liter fuel tank also houses a battery here instead of the seat, where it is located on the Duke.
The competitors mainly were the Ninja 300. There was not the RR310 yet that time, but the CBR 250 was a splendid competitor. There was also the Suzuki Inazuma, which was another twin-cylinder bike, which was known for its very smooth engine characteristics, but then again it was very underrated. But realistically, there was no specific bike to ride on the track other than the R15 V1 and V2 then. This bike will blow your mind. The bike paired with Mazzellas have a stonking feel on it. Every bit of it, every nuances of the tire hitting the tarmac, every inch of it feels amazing.
There are places where the inverted nature of the black plastic is not fully covering the clear bits. At these places, the RC's fairing looks like it has some sort of a piece missing. The satin black finish largely hides these places, but a lighter color will quickly draw your eyes to them. The integrated tail lamps use a thin central LED line as a running tail lamp, with two brighter LEDs that flank this line to make a distinctive tail lamp. Call it nitpicking, but the RC390 is a curious mix of the precise and apparently half-formed. The integration of the exhaust tip into the bottom of the fairing was extremely well executed. KTM had promised that the heat will not eventually discolor plastic, and it never actually did it. Kudos to them.
The shifts are very accurate and feels very precise and very tame to ride. The best part is the 373cc single-cylinder motor, which churns out a stonking 45 horsepower and 35 Nm of torque. By any means, if you want to know what that feels, Imagine being rear-ended by a huge train while you are on a very small bike. That's how the thrust on this feels like. Imagine a raging bull filled with power, yet a small one, but not very small to say the least.
Apart from changes in the intake routing, the 373.2cc engine is absolutely identical to the Duke's. It makes the same 43.5 PS at the same 9000 RPM, and the torque flows down from the same path to the rear wheel through the same unchanged gearbox and gearing. It just had to carry an additional 12 kg around, and at higher speeds has the advantage of a more slippery shape to pierce the air with. The old RC390's engine sounds best when revved high. The well-weighted clutch feels just right while pushing the bike down on the highway and performs smoothly when riding in city too. The closed ratio 6-speed transmission ensures precise shifts in a 1-down 5-up pattern, and an open throttle will reward you with high speeds in a jiffy. Filtering in between lanes on the RC is a bit tough at first if you wish to use the rear view mirrors as well. Retracting them helps a lot and gets you in fewer fights for nicking some cars' side mirrors. The radiator fan does its job perfectly by sending the heat to the belly rather than to the knees. The extremely hot exhaust pipe that resides below the seat dissipates enough heat to make some tandoori butts at the stop signal. The Duke and the RC share the same body of the trellis frame but visibly wear different rear subframes. The RC kicks up higher and is a smidgen longer in length, but the big change is up front, where the RC tucks the front wheel in a bit and has a sharper steering angle. These sound like minor changes, but when combined with a front fork that has less travel and is set up stiffer, and fake clip-on bars that not only offer less leverage but are closer to the axle, you have a dramatically different machine on your hands. The RC actually steers slower than the Duke and ends up feeling more natural and precise as a result of it.
Also, for you guys who have that question lingering in your mind constantly, kitna deti hai? This thing will return about 33 kilometers per liter if you're riding it very decently, and if not, if you're ripping it out in the open, this will give as low as 15 kilometers per liter. Trust me, this is one of the most rev-happy engines till date, and I absolutely love it.
On track, all of this works as good as idli sambar with extra chutney for total fun and dedication. Naturally, the short travel up front and the stiffer damping means ride quality suffers. While the 390 is far from the hardest setup we have tested, the Duke is clearly better equipped to hammer past bad roads than the RC. Braking again is better on the RC thanks to the frontal weight balance. The RC's more connected feel makes it easier to get hard on the brakes with full confidence, knowing the excellent ABS system will kick in if your sense of traction doesn't quite coincide with the real world. That said, I really wish it offered more initial bite and an aggressive ramp, as the newer models with the 320mm discs are just amazing to feel. Speed is the only true modern sensation, and the RCs have it all under control.
The shortcomings of this bike are plenty, I would say. It has a lot of vibrations, has a lot of issues, coolant mixing with the oil, chain sprockets wearing out very fast. Of course, there's a lot of shortcomings, but that's the process of owning a splendid bike at the cost of very good performance, isn't it? Owning the RC390 is just like owning a baby white elephant. Trust me, when it comes to the figures, it's worth every bit of it. For say around 7,000 kilometers, your expenses would be around 20 to 30,000, and here's why. The Metzlers which come on this are W rated, original ones, though you really don't get nowadays because of the import laws, and all you'll be left out with an Apollo Alpha H1. Sad to say that the 21 spec models come with Revzs, and I really wish at least they came with Metzlers, because that's one hell of a tire and you can feel every inch of the tarmac.
All I can say is that the RC was purely meant for the racetrack, and they don't fail to impress one bit and keeps you grinning and laughing all day long. They're not meant for touring or going to office or college. Obviously, you will do that and you can do that, but the real fun lies on the track, where these machines shine as bright as the mighty sun. These bikes were by far the best performance motorcycles in India and joined the league of the cult Yamaha R15. Yes, it was that good, and the RC has the power you always needed on the racetrack.
If I had a choice between this and any other bike in this segment, including the 2021 RC390, I'd still go for this. This has the raw power on it. This doesn't have the bs3 norms and a lot of features that were included on that, which makes it very restrictive. Trust me, for under 3 lakhs, this was the best bike, and in used markets, you get it as low as less than 1 lakh. It's one of the best bikes, and trust me, you're gonna love it. Here's the RC390 for you guys. Until next time, get set, Anarchy.